E.T. phone home. Ouch. Hey, welcome to 4K Ultra HD Review. I'm your host, Billy Hoosh, and today we're reviewing E.T. the Extraterrestrial from 1982 by the famous director Steven Spielberg. Now, E.T. is a film about botanist aliens visiting California and collecting plants on their ship that they seem to be cultivating extraterrestrial mushrooms on. The film starts off with the aliens being scared away by, from what I think are men in black or government agents, and they end up leaving one of the aliens behind. Then it establishes a scene where there's a family and friends sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons, and one kid named Elliot is kind of excluded from the bunch. He's being bullied, and it's pretty bad if you're being bullied by people playing Dungeons and Dragons. Elliot ends up finding the extraterrestrial E.T. and befriending him and hiding him in the house. Throughout the film, we also find out that Elliot is experiencing separation. His parents are separated. His dad's in Mexico with his new girlfriend, and he's taking it hard. A lot of these themes of alienation and sadness and neglect are seen throughout the film, and it's pretty obvious that E.T. and Elliot are mirroring each other. It's almost painfully drawn out by the director that Elliot has empathy towards E.T. being lost and separated from his parents and being this different person. They both have blue eyes, and they're both separated from their parents and feel like they're outsiders in a sense, to the point that they literally can feel each other's feelings and are connected by the heart, which makes it extra sappy. But to a child growing up in the 80s, I guess that is a way of simplifying these emotions so they can relate to it. Which, in that sense, it's not bad. It's definitely a story of an outsider, and a lot of kids who experience divorce and separation can relate to this film. Now, the movie has a lot of really cool special effects. E.T. in itself, a lot of animatronics. You get to see his head get erected up at certain points, which are very strange. There's also a lot of funny moments in the film. There's a beginning scene where I didn't notice this as a child. One of the son's friend touches the mother's ass at the opening scene when she's going for something in the fridge. There's also scenes where they dress up the alien in women's clothing. It kind of resembles Whoopi Goldberg. But overall, this film is great, I would say. And as a 4K transfer, this is definitely a good upgrade from my old VHS. This is actually my dad's VHS cassette. Definitely this film being a very dark movie. As in, not dark as in subject matter, but it's filmed at night for most part. It's a Halloween movie. It is filmed during Halloween. They go trick-or-treating and stuff like that. It benefits from HDR. You can see details you did not see before because the film was too dark. Also, it's a really nice way of seeing all the film grain. Film grain actually looks great on this, especially when you see the grain through light halos throughout the film. It's really cool, and I really enjoyed the visual presentation of it. It was very much a worthwhile upgrade if you're coming from DVD. I would say even coming from Blu-ray, this is definitely worth it for the HDR alone for all those dark scenes. Another interesting fact is there was a 20th anniversary edition released on DVD, which they removed the guns from the federal agents in a couple of scenes and replaced them with walkie-talkies and flashlights. This is the theatrical cut, so it has dudes with shotguns chasing kids and stuff like that. So rest assured you are getting a pure copy of it. As for the sound is great. that iconic soundtrack. The score is amazing in this film. All of E.T.'s coos and strange noises he makes. He kind of sounds like a cross between a didgeridoo and a Tibetan monk doing those guttural sounds. It comes out really good on this transfer. It's definitely a really nice copy of E.T. You could probably see right now, I'll probably be showing on the screen the internals of this 4K. It's nothing special. It's nice that they gave me a dust jacket, and the dust jacket is shiny and embossed at the top, which usually don't see the top being embossed. 2 discs there. At least the discs have full color images on it, and they're 2 different, I guess, production stills or poster art, you want to say. So the film itself is pretty great. I mean, there's amazing cinematography in it. It's definitely a time capsule of the 80s. You can see how a lot of elements from this film were lifted and put in postmodern recreations like Stranger Things and whatnot. The whole sense of kids on a mission that are doing stuff, outsmarting the government agencies and whatnot. It was really strange that they entered the house wearing NASA spacesuits instead of hazmat suits. Thought that was a little weird, but hey, whatever. I guess it's for kids. But yeah, it had amazing cinematography. I thought there were some interesting editing choices, especially some continuity errors. It could just be dealing with child actors. You can't really get them to pose in the same way, in the same positions as you cut scene to scene. Speaking of child actors, it's probably one of the best films with child actors in it. They did a really good job. I thought Drew Barrymore did a knockout performance in this film. For the film itself, the script, Spielberg has been on the record to say that he was inspired by his childhood, growing up with divorced, separated parents, and that feeling of alienation and connecting that to aliens made him want to write the script, or actually he got someone else to write the script for him. But there's some interesting controversy around this. In 1967, a famous Bengali director, Satyajit Ray, who directed the Apu trilogy and is best known for his neo-realistic films, wrote a script called The Alien, which was being shopped around Hollywood during the late 60s, early 70s, which the script is very, very similar to E.T. that came out in 82. The film was about aliens coming down in an Indian village, and the aliens were obsessed with plants and stuff in it. The description of the alien was very similar to what ultimately became E.T., being a cross between a gnome and, I guess, a starved child. The alien in the script befriended a child with mental disabilities who was alienated and bullied in the village. And apparently the original script for E.T., Elliot had a form of, he was autistic. So that's very, very interesting. On the record, I don't think Spielberg has said anything. Ray said, well, Spielberg has made many important films and he doesn't want to cause a commotion and whatnot, so he didn't really pursue it legally or anything like that. Whether or not that is true or just a rumor, I guess you could find a copy of the script of the 1967 The Alien and see for yourself. But besides that, I would say that this is an amazing movie and definitely something that every collection should have. I would say it's up there with the Back to the Future trilogy of that movie that really encompasses the 80s, and being a child of the 80s, this really was a part of my identity. So in the end, I would give this movie a 9 out of 10. It was great. And this version is definitely an amazing upgrade over my crusty old VHS cassette. Well, that's my review on E.T., the Extraterrestrial. I hope you liked it. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell to see more 4K Ultra HD reviews. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite scene from E.T., the Extraterrestrial? For me, it's the scene where E.T. gets drunk And Elliot gets drunk in class and liberates all the frogs that are about to be dissected. Let me know in the comments, and once again, take care. I appreciate you. Hey, welcome to the second chocolate review. I thought we'll talk about chocolate in this episode since Reese's Pieces and Chocolate's a theme in E.T. Originally, it was supposed to be M&M's, but M&M thought that the movie was a little too scary and they didn't want to associate with E.T. and their chocolate. But then Hershey swooped in and offered their Reese's Pieces. But I'm not going to review Reese's Pieces because we all love peanut butter if you're not allergic to it. But I am going to review another Tim Hortons chocolate bar. And this is dark roast chocolate. So if you know me, you know that my favorite coffee is dark roast coffee. And I was excited to see at the store they now had the dark roast version of this Tim Hortons chocolate bar. So I am going to try this and see how it stacks up to the double chocolate that we had last time. So let's take a look. I am just going to have 1 cube of it for this review. It tastes very similar to the double. It just doesn't have that milky, the fake condensed milk taste to it. I don't know which one I like better. I would say they're both exactly the same. It's still pretty good. I give this a 9 out of 10. It tastes good, but you know what? I kind of do prefer the double one a bit more than the dark roast coffee one. It's pretty good. And if you can find these at a store, I suggest picking them up. This was, once again, the bottom shelf in the impulse aisle of the express checkout. And that was the only place in the whole store that I could find these at the Canadian Superstore. And it was collecting dust too. So you know what? If you can find these, pick them up because I hope they don't go out of circulation. They taste pretty good. I enjoy them. Anyways, hope you have a good one. Take it easy. Peace.